friends, I'm Ashley and welcome to Darling Cottage Diary. Today we are setting up both what's called a waste book, more of just some pretty collaging on the front of one, and setting up the index for my Commonplace book that I'm wanting to keep. And if you don't know what either of those are, they are ways that people have taken notes, and originally with accounting, especially, we're talking like 1500s. We're talking a long time ago. Waste books were used in shopkeeping and accounting of just daily transactions, debts paid, just the random stuff that you don't want to forget, that you want to keep track of, you know, that your numbers of your shop or numbers of your business, and then transfer into a nicely cataloged, indexed bookkeeping book to balance later. And around the Enlightenment period, the mid to late 1600s into the 1700s and beyond, up until common time now, these have been used by people who like to study, used by intellectuals, used by Leonardo da Vinci had them, and I'm going to be using the indexing system that John Locke talked about in his book, but you can actually read one of the originals. Like the S's, most of the S's are still written as F's. Harvard has one available to read online, and I'm actually going to show you that later in the video. But first we're going to be covering the waste book. So the waste book is basically for brain dumping in a modern sense. The way I'm going to use this, obviously, I'm going to be using these not as an accounting system or anything like that. One of my goals this year was to just be better about not just mindlessly reading nonfiction. I kind of wanted to start cataloging favorite quotes and favorite poems and just new information that I like, and journaling about it, because I have my chronological diary that I write about my emotions and my just personal things that I'm going through. And then I have scrapbooking, and I have art journaling, which is what you guys see mostly. I've shown you some scrapbooking stuff, but that's mostly what I've been doing. And I wanted to create kind of scientific type of notes. I wanted to consolidate a lot of the French vocabulary and idioms that I learned. That's, if you're new to my channel, that's part of my day job. I work in academia, French teacher, and so it's my second language, so I'm constantly trying to learn to be better, and that's another motivation for wanting to do this. So the waste book is for brain dumping, gathering info in the wild, and it's kind of your foraging pouch of knowledge. It's the things that you find and you want to remember when you get home, and you can sit and actually digest the information of just, oh, that sounds really cool, or oh, I didn't know that, or oh, that quote really moved me, or you know, I want to look up this poem later because I saw a bit of it in something. You know, it's writing those things down. Or honestly, I use my waste book for business ideas, sticker ideas, just all kinds of things. And so that is what I'm decorating right here. I decided to go with an unlined little pocket book this time. I've had a lined one, and I realized that I actually sketch quite a bit during downtime, because that helps me think when I'm lesson planning. Actually, it helps me be more creative when I'm able to stop focusing on the more analytical parts of my job, and I kind of just sketch around thinking about something else, and that's when I get some of my best ideas. And I know I'm not alone in that. Taking showers and doing something artistic tends to be when I get my best ideas. So I didn't want it lined for that reason. But so I just wanted to make the front of this pretty because I'm almost finished with my first one that I showed you, the one that I have in my little holder right now. So excitingly, I'm going to start transferring maybe next week. Maybe I'll do something else next week and then, you know, switch back to the Commonplace. But I'll be transferring some of the information that I want to keep in my Commonplace book on the channel. So I'll do some videos of, I'll do the setup today and then show you, how to use the index as well as just what my notes kind of look like. So obviously I'm still decorating, but I'm going to talk about the Commonplace book so that you know where we're going with this and what's coming to you. So a Commonplace is categorized, it's indexed, it is, it does have maybe some artistic little decor in it if you are like me. It doesn't have to be something super strict. You look at Leonardo da Vinci's, he had sketches in his, he wrote the margins. It's a place where you bring knowledge and you digest it. Oscar Wilde also kept pretty intense notes. John Locke, a lot of it's rumored that, or not even rumored, they have the books. It's Sir Isaac Newton discovered calculus in a waste book, and then, or he kind of like had the idea and then opened up upon it in his Commonplace book. So it's just a place to think and get your thoughts on paper, and it's about things that don't have to do with your emotions or your personal stuff. It has to do with, it's less of an internalized view, it's more of an externalized view, but it's being mulled over and percolated in your mind. And so the emphasis is on the elements, and then you have headings to archive within your index. And this is like the cabinet of curiosities for your knowledge, whereas the waste book is the foraging pouch. The Commonplace book is where you bring that information. You know, if you foraged a butterfly, a dead butterfly you found in the wild, or a new plant, the Commonplace book is like the cabinet of curiosities where you would bring it home. You would, look it up, write your notes about it, maybe sketch it, put a pin in it, and put it in your pretty little cabinet with maybe a little caption underneath it. That's proverbially what we're doing. And so using this book, I wanted this one to be unlined for that reason. That way any sketches or margin writing, I don't have obstructions of the lines, which bothered me in my previous waste book, as I said. So this, I like that I can take the pages out. I'm pretty excited. This is a new one that my grandmother found from a long time ago and gave to me, so I'm pretty excited to dig into this one. But to set up the index, I like the way John Locke did it because he keeps the index on 2 pages, and it doesn't have to go further than that because he includes certain letters, like more uncommon letters that not as many words start with. Kind of included them inside other letters, and I'll break that down a little bit more in the next video that I do, so that, because it sounds very out there and abstract without, or it does to me at least, I'm a very visual person, so it seems a little bit abstract, and I'll show you exactly how that works next time. But essentially you're writing headings of the first letter and then the first vowel. So rather than having a table of contents where you have a certain number of pages that correspond to different categories, because you don't always know how much you're going to write in a various category. I don't know how many French words I'm going to write versus how many quotes I'm going to find versus, poetry or, scientific information that I want to write. So, and I don't like having extra open pages when other sections are incomplete. I've had that issue with trying to categorize things before in books like this. So that's why I wanted to try his indexing method, because this way you just fill the book up front to back. You don't have categories, you don't have like chapters. You have headings, and then the headings you can find by the index that has the page number in it, which works similarly to an index in a textbook. But anyway, so the organization of it goes by the first letter and the first vowel, and like U and V are in the same category kind of thing. So it's 25 spaces essentially, and it keeps it all on the 2 pages. He used red ink for the vowels per first letter, the secondary vowel. He used all red underlining ink. I used pink because it's me. But anyway, I'm really excited to work on this and use this journal. Commonplacing is something I've seen on, talked about on YouTube quite a lot, but it wasn't until I actually read his book that I kind of wrapped my mind totally around what it was. So I definitely recommend doing that yourself. They're both, as I said, very popular. They were popular from the Enlightenment period. And once you write down your indexing system to find information, without those random blank pages, you have the information, and then you kind of do selective rephrasing, and those handwritten notes. There is something about the brain to hand connection when it comes to writing and reading. Even reading comprehension is quite different, reading from a screen rather than reading on actual paper. There are a lot of studies done on that the last, 20 years. Definitely encourage you to look them up because it helped me studying.